Did you know that Belvedere is the world's first super premium vodka? Yet, when you think of super premium vodka, the first name that pops into your head is probably Grey Goose. So when I caught up with Belvedere's president Charles Gibb, I asked him on why the world's first super premium vodka hasn't got its due, how they are battling the perception problem, the growing luxury vodka market, the Indian alcohol growth story, and everything in between. Take it away. Thank you so much for joining us, Charles. Truly a pleasure to have you on Brand Equity.
Thank you very much indeed. Great pleasure to be here.
I believe Belvedere really is the first luxury vodka in the world.
Absolutely. Belvedere was created in 1993 in Poland. And Poland is a very significant place in the world of vodka because it's the birthplace of vodka, dating back to around 1400. And Belvedere was created in 1993, just after the fall of communism. And Belvedere was born at that time of tremendous sort of excitement and entrepreneurialism, and then was first exported in sort of 95, 96 into the US market, and then rapidly copied by many others.
But Charles, don't you agree that, despite the fact that you have a really good product and the first mover in your space, you do suffer from a perception problem? Because when you say premium, when you say luxury vodka, the first name that comes to your head is Grey Goose, not Belvedere. My question really is, what are you doing to break that perception?
Absolutely, the bartenders and the people who work behind the bar are really, really important. So all the work that we do to educate them about the brand, about the category, about Polish heritage. Poland is the birthplace of vodka. Yeah. So really making sure that we educate both consumers but also bartenders, because these are the people that pass things on through word of mouth.
You've been in India for about 8 years?
About that, yeah.
How would you look at your own progress report when it comes to the brand here and the traction it's getting with the Indian drinkers?
Yeah. I think, as ever, when you're starting in a new country, it's always challenging the first few years, just trying to get things moving and get things going. But certainly in the last couple of years, we've seen a real sort of explosion of the brand in the Indian market, and I think that's very much driven by a lot of the local things that are happening. The if you like, the further development of the entertainment industry here, more and more outlets opening up, places like Air, the Dome, all these kind of places in Mumbai which are vibrant, exciting, new. Those places didn't really exist sort of 8 to 10 years ago when we were launching here. So I think it's about having the right environment and then doing the right things in the right environment.
Vodka as a segment, and I'm talking specifically about the Indian market. How have you seen the growth per se vis-a-vis the more popular spirit, which is whiskey?
Yeah. India is it's an extremely dynamic and very exciting market, but you are seeing a shift at the moment. Vodka is the fastest growing category within this marketplace. Super premium vodka is growing at, I think, 35-36% year on year. So there's a real switch, from some of these dark spirits into the white spirits, which is again very consistent with what we're seeing in multiple markets around the world at the moment.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think men universally look at vodka as a woman's drink. Do you see that perception somewhere breaking, or is that still very strong?
I think it. It will change. James Bond drinks, vodka martinis. Okay. And there's no greater male icon, I think, globally than James Bond. So he personifies, if you like, the ultimate in male sophistication and drinking. And he enjoys his vodka martinis. I think vodka plays a role for both men and women.
Give me your global market shares in your segment.
I always divide the market into two spaces, because you've got the US market, which is a very highly developed market, and then outside the US, you've got a very rapidly developing category. In Europe, we would have probably a share of 30-40% within super premium vodka. In Asia, probably slightly more than that overall. In the US, absolutely slightly less than that, because that's where our competitors are doing a bit better than us.
You're also increasingly treading thin ice with the fact that you're in the luxury vodka space, and the fact that you have a lot of designers now coming up with their brands of vodka. how is that going down with players such as you, and what are you doing to ensure that they remain extremely niche and you're more predominant?
They will appeal, those types of brands appeal to people on an image basis, but on image basis only. Sure. And once you get inside them, does the product actually deliver? Does the product actually deliver on the price prompt or on the price position that they've given themselves? And I think that's where some of these vodkas can be more challenged. Whereas a brand like Belvedere, we start inside the bottle and then we work from there. So we're starting with a base product that we're extremely confident with.
What's the biggest challenge you face in India and other developing markets?
The biggest challenge is probably to get, to get and then maintain the momentum. And I've watched, a number of markets around the world in the last, 5-10 years explode for Belvedere. And what first year, second year, it's very tough because you're over-investing, you're trying to make things happen, and you're feeling that you're not quite getting there. And then suddenly 2 or 3 things change, and it can be the market. It can be a sudden opening of new bars that suddenly gives you access. It can be a great mixologist. It can be a change in regulations, which happens, in a number of markets around the world. So, and I think it's a question of being ready for when those changes take place.
Thank you so much, Charles. This has been really, really insightful and extremely exciting speaking with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Great pleasure to meet you and fantastic to be here in India.